Hey everybody, this is Chewy Plays Nintendo, and welcome to the Nintendo Fitness Challenge. Over the years, Nintendo has introduced a wide variety of accessories that have tried to change the way we look at fitness. They also intend these things to change the way we get our exercise on a daily basis. This challenge is to adopt some of these games into my daily routine and see what the results are at the end of this journey. I've set some rules, I've given myself some goals, and I've decided on which of these Nintendo things I'm going to be working into my daily routine, and of course I'm going to have some other things that aren't related to Nintendo just to help me track with the progress. So let's start with the rules. Number 1 is the most important rule. It's that I must use Nintendo accessories and Nintendo games for exercising. Number 2 is that I must also use the games associated with these accessories. And the last rule is that I must do this challenge for 6 weeks. I've got to be honest, of these rules, number 1 was the hardest for me to make because I've actually been exercising a lot more lately and I had a pretty good routine going and I was starting to see results, so I'm a little bit worried about what my results will be with only using Nintendo products. I'm worried if they're going to be less, if they're going to be, well, not really more, but you know, I just want to make sure I continue on this path. Anyways, the goal with this is to hopefully see an end result that is strictly from Nintendo. Alright, so it's not fitness without setting some goals, and I wanted to make sure my goals were, actually tangible and reachable and something that I could, on a daily basis, reach. My number 1 goal is to get at least 1 hour of activity in every single day. Number 2 is to get 10,000 steps every day. And number 3 is of course the actual thing we can measure. I'm going to be trying to lose 6 to 12 pounds over the next 6 weeks. I'm hoping that by doing this and kind of switching off of my routine, I can still see results. I'm a little worried about that, but hopefully you all follow me on this journey and kind of see what the results are at the end of this. Of course, the most important part of this process is the Nintendo accessories and games that I will be using and playing, so I want to start this off with Nintendo's latest release, and that is Ring Fit Adventure. Yes, I have got myself Ring Fit Adventure here, and I've actually started playing it already. I'm about a week into this already, so you're seeing me just kind of first impressions. I'll give those at the end of this video, but this is one thing I'm going to be doing. Of course, it comes with some things. Let me actually grab them for you real quick. So the biggest thing that it comes with is, of course, this ring, and thus far, I am pretty impressed with this piece of technology. And then there's a leg strap, of course. I've got my Joy-Con strapped in so you can kind of see the look of these two things together. The next thing I'm going to be using is actually on me right now. It's in my back pocket and it's something that I plan on having this whole time, but that is my Poké Walker. For those of you who don't know, this Poké Walker came out with Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. You could choose a Pokemon to put into the Poké Walker, and every step you took was an experience points for this Pokemon. So I'm going to be using this to actually keep track of the steps that I get every day, and I've got to say it's been pretty hard to reach 10,000 so far, but I'm really excited about having this on me all the time. Along with the Poké Walker, I'm going to have another thing on me at all times, and that is my phone with a pretty cute Animal Crossing case over here. So if you like this, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll share where I got it, but it's pretty cute. Anyways, I'm going to be playing Pokemon Go while also playing with that Poké Walker and taking walks. So that's going to be a big part of this process as well, because I wanted to make sure there was a game involved while I was exercising. The other thing is something many of you may have, and that is actually my 3DS. So the 3DS comes packed in with Street Pass games, and while some of them are more of the premium variety and you have to buy them, it does have some pretty basic games that you can play, but I do want to showcase those. And the reason I'm turning this into an exercise is because you can get steps with this, and every 100 steps, you get a gold coin, and because there's not really people street passing anymore, I figure I can use these gold coins to play these street pass games, so that'll be another thing that I do during this challenge. Of course, there is a surprise game in this series. I'm going to reveal it on probably week 5, right before the results, but it's going to be something very unique, and I think you'll all have a lot of fun seeing what I do with that game, and I'm excited to show it all to you. Anyways, each week I'm planning on highlighting one of these games. So next week you're going to see a lot of Ring Fit Adventure. The following week I'm probably going to go over the Pokewalker and Pokemon Go and so on. So I really want to use each week to highlight a game to you, but I'm going to be doing as many of them as possible every single day. Like I said, I've got to reach an hour of activity, so I figure if I'm playing lots of games to make that happen, it shouldn't be too bad. So I am going to be checking in on here every single week. You can catch these videos on Mondays just to see what I'm highlighting, how the progress is going, but if you want to follow along more closely, I'm going to be keeping a daily blog on my Patreon. It's going to be accessible to patrons, so it's $1 a month and you can get access to all of this. I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth of what I'm doing for the activities. I'm going to reveal that surprise game a little bit earlier to everybody there, and I'm going to just talk about like other stuff I'm doing on the side, because I am going to be trying to watch my diet a little bit more and, you know, outside of that, just live a healthier lifestyle while I'm doing this to try to maximize the results. But I'm really excited about this challenge, and if you are too, please head over to Patreon. You can follow it a lot more closely, but if that is out of the realm for you, I'm going to make these weekly videos as in-depth and detailed as possible just to make sure you all have something to catch up on. But like I said, you have the options there, and really, I'm just trying to have fun with this. I know exercise can be hard for a lot of people. It's something I used to do a lot more in the past and haven't lately, but I'm getting back into it and I'm having a lot of fun, and I guess I should get into my Ring Fit impressions since this is the end of, you know, kind of spelling out the challenge for you, but I want to let you know what I think about that game so far. Alright, so Ring Fit Adventure, like I said, it comes with this, which they call the Ring Con. It is, of course, shaped like a ring, and it comes with this handy dandy leg strap here. This you tie around your left leg, they recommend. I don't know what would happen if you did it around your right. I haven't really tried, but the Ring Con accessory I'm very impressed with it so far. So this is how you would see it if you were holding it. So usually I would hold it like this, and yeah, you get a lot of good feedback on this. Like, it's got very sturdy material, it's made very well. I actually really love the feel of the Ring Con too. It's like a really nice material. I don't know quite what it is, but I do like it overall. It has these straps around it, which are really nice because they are velcroed on and you can take them off, because the first thing I thought when I got it, I was like, these are probably going to get kind of gross and you're going to need to wash them at some point, but luckily Nintendo thought of that, probably had a lot of people playing it and testing it and realizing like, oh, we're getting a pretty crazy exercise here, we should probably make this washable in some way. So they do have a bunch of tips and things on how to wash it, how to take care of it, and I do really appreciate that, because if you do start to exercise, you know you're going to sweat a lot, you're going to get a little gross, I know I do, so it's a pretty cool thing. But yeah, overall, it's very sturdy, and once you start doing tons of reps with this thing, it gets really hard and you have to work for it. So thus far, I think they're on the right track. The hardware is very good for this. Alright, so the most important thing to talk about is, of course, the gameplay, because obviously they're trying to kind of make exercise into more of a game and make it more appealing to a lot of people. So I have mostly spent time with the adventure mode, and thus far, I like it. I think it's got a very simple story. It's not really too deep or anything, but it is something like if you get into it, you're interested in seeing what happens, then that is something of a driving force. I guess I'm more along the lines interested in the exercise aspects of the game, and I kind of like seeing it as more of a personal coach. It feels like a trainer kind of telling me I need to do these things for like soccer practice or something. So I really like that aspect of it. I like the direction that it gives me in terms of exercise. You can choose a difficulty, whether you want to have a pretty low energy exercise or a high energy exercise. exercise, you can kind of change that. I actually found out the other day that I have it set to the most difficult setting, so I am not going easy on myself, and by the end of the workout, you can tell I look like a puddle. I'm sweaty. It's crazy. So I'm playing it on a very high difficulty, but overall the game, it kind of involves different exercises using the ring, your legs, a bunch of different things. There's kind of a warm-up portion. You warm up before you start the game, but then also it starts you off with running, usually jogging, maybe some sprints and stuff, and kind of does high knees as well, so it does a bit of interval training with that. That part I don't find too difficult. I've always been kind of a runner. I used to play soccer, and so I just ran a lot throughout my lifetime, and that part doesn't do too much for me, but I do recognize it more as like a warm-up. And I think at the higher difficulties, the focus isn't too much on the running versus the strength training, and that's the part that I truly do feel. So when you get into a battle in this game, it becomes kind of an exercise. That's when I feel it becomes the workout, at least for me. But you are doing, squeezes up here, squeezes in front of your chest, and there are just tons of different activities that you do with this ring con, and it really gets you moving. And then it has some that are without the ring con. For example, knee to chest, that's more like a reverse kind of crunch thing, if you don't know. But next week I'm going to have videos of me doing a lot of these exercises so you can see them. It has you doing squats. The squats are a killer, I've got to say, especially if you work a desk job. The only time you really get up or down is to get in or out of your seat. So the squats, they can be pretty tough on me. But yeah, overall, the gameplay, at least the exercise portion, I feel really falls into those battles where it has you doing a lot of different activities in that sense. At the end of the exercise, it actually takes into account what exercises you've been doing. Maybe you did a lot with your arms. It will stretch out your arms. It takes you through a little cool down process, and there you can do some stretches that will help just kind of rebuild your muscles, make sure they're loose, make sure they're not going to get too damaged after the workout. But yeah, I do really appreciate that it does take into account what you're doing, and you can go ahead and look at your stats afterwards to see how you're doing compared to your friends, how you're doing compared to people who were born the same year as you. So I really like that aspect. I want to be very high in those scores. I've actually missed the last couple of days because of a trip that we went on, but I'm excited to get back into it tonight and get a workout in. So I've done 4 out of the last 7 days, and I'm hoping to make this the 5th. So 5 out of 7 days for a workout. I think that's pretty good. You're supposed to have rest days to rebuild your muscles. I know I'm going for more of an activity I guess I'm going for an hour of activity every day, and I'm going to change it up just to be safe. You don't want to put too much stress on any one of your muscles, but yeah, overall, I really like it. I think it's been pretty fun to do, and it's kind of interesting. So if you pick it up, I'm sure you're probably going to get a good workout out of it. That's what I can say. It's definitely a tool intended to do that. So anyways, if you want to tune in next week, I'm going to talk a lot more about this. I'm going to talk about the exercises you do. I'm going to do my own demonstrations of them. You'll be able to see those, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about this challenge. It's something that I've, been interested in lately. I've been working out. I've been doing some more activity, so it's really cool to do it, I think, with some Nintendo products. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Anyways, if you like this video, if you're joining me in this challenge, let me know in the comments. I really want to hear what you think of these games. Any questions you have, go ahead and ask me. I am going to try to be as open and everything about this process as possible because, like I said, I just want to see some results, see my health improve a little bit. So yeah, let me know. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.